So, last time a lot of you noticed something. In part 1 of this Red Dead Redemption 2 missable content series, we showed you a pitfall trap and called it a Guarma encounter, and within about 4 minutes the comment section politely formed a line to inform me that I was, in fact, completely wrong. That trap, not Guarma. It is a Murfree brood trap up on Roanoke Ridge near Annisburg in Chapter 6. Those weren't soldiers. They were the swamp's least huggable family reunion. So, congratulations to everyone who caught that. You've proved the entire point of this series better than I ever could. Red Dead Redemption 2 is so massive that even the people making videos about missable content are missing content. Which is exactly why we're back. You asked for part 2, you flooded the comments with stuff I left out, and honestly, half of this episode is yours. Let's get into things you can still lose forever in Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 1. Let's start with the comment that got more attention than the actual video, because apparently most players have no idea what the Meteorite actually does. If you find a Meteorite in Red Dead Redemption 2, and yes, there's a whole eerie little quest involving a house that gets struck by one, you can walk away with a chunk of space rock in your satchel and assume it's just another sellable trinket. It is not, because carrying the Meteorite quietly stops Arthur from overheating. Which means all those incredible heavy outfits, the panther coat, the bear coats, the big furry stuff that normally cooks Arthur alive the second he rides into Rhodes or Saint Denis, you can suddenly wear them anywhere. No overheating, no health draining away every few minutes, no having to dress like it's a permanent winter just to survive Lemoyne. The game never tells you this, not once. There's no tooltip, no journal entry, nothing. Thousands of players have sold that Meteorite for pocket change without ever realizing they just sold the one item that lets Arthur be fashionable in the swamp. So shout out to the legend in the part 1 comments who dropped this knowledge. You saved a lot of cool outfits from a tragic life spent of only being worn in the mountains. Number 2. Next is an item so easy to miss that you basically have to be standing in the exact right spot at the exact right moment on the exact right day while the universe aligns. The Scout Jacket. This one comes from Pearson, your camp's walking mustache and stew enthusiast. It's a camp item request. Pearson wants a perfect rabbit pelt, and in return he'll craft you the Scout Jacket. Sounds simple. It is not. Because this request only becomes available within a tiny window, roughly 10 in the morning to noon in the game, and Pearson has to be standing in one specific spot in the camp for it to trigger at all. So if you stroll into camp at the wrong hour or Pearson's wandered off to stir his soup somewhere, the option just isn't there. Most players walk past him every single day and never see it. It's a perfect example of how Red Dead hides content behind a clock most people aren't even watching. You're not missing this because it's hidden in a cave guarded by the Nightfolk. You're missing it because you showed up at 1 PM instead of 11. Number 3. Now this next one isn't a collectible, it's a person, and losing her is one of the saddest accidental tragedies in the whole game. Her name is Charlotte Balfour. Charlotte is one of those stranger missions, Rockstar's term for the optional side encounters that exist completely outside the main story. And this one is a widow Arthur finds living alone in the wilderness, completely unequipped to survive out there. Her husband has died, she has no idea how to hunt, and she's slowly starving in a cabin in the woods. And Arthur, the man who survives on cigarettes, canned beans, and emotional damage, becomes her survival teacher. It's one of the most genuinely heartwarming side stories in the game. He teaches her to hunt, leaves her gifts, and she slowly becomes self-sufficient. It's lovely. But here's where it gets dangerous. The whole questline is directly tied to Arthur's honor system standing. Red Dead's morality mechanics that tracks whether you're living like a decent human being or an absolute menace. Beyond that, players have reported scaring her off. For example, by firing near her or messing up the cougar that appears near her property. And if things go wrong, or if you return later under the wrong circumstances, you can find Charlotte dead. An X on the map where one of the kindest little stories in the game used to be. And if you only ever visit her area as John Marston in the epilogue, you may never even get to experience the good version at all. So Charlotte is a reminder that in Red Dead, you don't just miss items. You can miss people. Quietly. Permanently. Just because you pulled the trigger half a second too early. Number 4. Speaking of dark things hidden near family estates, let's talk about the Braithwaite shed. During your time tangling with the Braithwaite family in Chapter 3, right around when Dutch Vanderlyn has Arthur running errands between the Braithwaites and the Greys, there's a small, easily ignored building on their property. A closed-off shed, sort of an outhouse. Most players sprint past it entirely because the Braithwaite missions are busy enough without going for a casual walk around the grounds. But inside that shed is one of the Braithwaite's own relatives, a young woman the family has essentially locked away and hidden from the world because they were ashamed of her. And here's the brutal missable detail. If you find her during Arthur's playthrough, she's alive. You can discover this whole disturbing little piece of the Braithwaite family's cruelty firsthand. But if you never go looking, and you only stumble onto that spot later as John Marston in the epilogue, you find her corpse. She doesn't survive the time skip, so the only window to ever see her alive, to witness this quiet, horrible secret while it's still a living person and not just a body, is during Arthur's chapters. Miss it then, and the game makes very sure you understand exactly what you miss. Red Dead Redemption 2, everybody, where even optional content is emotionally devastating. Number 5. Okay, let's lighten the mood with a free gun. There's a random encounter, the spontaneous world events Rockstar scatters throughout the game, where you'll hear a man screaming for help in the wilderness. When you find him, he's panicking because he's just been bitten by a venomous snake. You got two choices: give him a health cure, or, the more memorable option, suck the venom out of the wound yourself. Arthur, being Arthur, then immediately asks the man to please never tell anyone he did that. Here's why it matters. The man's name is Norbert, and if you save him, he doesn't just say thanks and wander off. Later, in Valentine, you'll find him sitting outside the gunsmith with his friend. He recognizes Arthur as the man who saved his life, and announces, much to Arthur's horror, exactly how he was saved, and then tells you to go into the gun shop and pick out anything you want, on his tab, for free. A completely free weapon. Any gun in the store. And this is the missable part inside the missable part. You have to choose it right then. If you walk away, get distracted, or come back later, that free option can quietly vanish. And suddenly everything in the store is full price again. Players have lost an entire free firearm simply by saying, "I'll decide later." So if you ever save a screaming snakebite man and then meet him outside a gun store, do not browse. Do not think about it. Grab the most expensive thing on the shelf and walk out like you own the place. Because Norbert's generosity has a time limit. Number 6. Now here's one that hurts in a different way, because it doesn't cost you an item. It costs you your horse's potential. The horse races. Out in the world, you'll occasionally run into riders who challenge Arthur to a casual race, and a lot of players, especially on a second playthrough, start skipping these immediately. You've done them before, there's no shiny reward, so why bother, right? Here's why. Winning those races is one of the ways you build your horse's stats and your bond with it. Skip them, and you're quietly capping how good your horse can ever become. And here's the cruel twist players discovered the hard way. If you ignore them long enough, they stop spawning altogether. So you end up in a situation where you finally realize you needed those races to max your horse, and now you can't find a single one to join. The opportunity just dried up because you kept saying, "No thanks," one too many times. It's the most Red Dead thing imaginable. A reward hidden inside something boring that disappears the moment you decide it's not worth your time. Number 7. Let's get back to the missable items, and this one is connected to a stranger mission a lot of you brought up. Penelope and Beau, the rich teenage couple Arthur inexplicably becomes a relationship counselor for. In part 1 we talked about Penelope's bracelet, but there's a second missable wrinkle here that the comments pointed out, and it's a good one. At one point, Beau gives Arthur a gift to deliver to Penelope, a little token of his love meant to be handed over during the mission, except you don't have to hand it over. You can take that gift, ride straight to a fence, and sell it for cash before ever giving it to her. And if you do, the game actually notices. You get a different version of the scene where Penelope awkwardly asks Arthur something like, "No gift this time?" Because Arthur has, in fact, pawned her boyfriend's romantic gesture for pocket money, which is somehow the most Arthur Morgan thing in the entire game. And while you're in that questline, there's another little detail tied to the shed we mentioned earlier. Penelope will warn Arthur not to go near her locked-away cousin, and if you go anyway, Arthur ends up scolding her for how the family treated that poor woman. A tiny missable character moment that makes Arthur look even better than usual. It also nudges your honor system rating upward, a small mechanical reward buried inside what already feels like the right thing to do. Number 8. Now let's talk about something genuinely spooky, because the swamp wasn't done with us yet. The Lemoyne Ghost Train. Riding through Lemoyne at night in certain spots, players have reported seeing a phantom train, a ghostly locomotive that appears in the dark, complete with eerie lighting, and then simply isn't there. No tracks leading anywhere sensible, no explanation, just a haunted train rolling through the swamp like it's running on a schedule from beyond the grave. It's one of the several supernatural random encounters Rockstar buried in the game with zero fanfare. There's no mission, no marker, no achievement telling you that you saw it. It only appears under specific conditions. At night, if you're not in the right place at the right time, you'll go your entire playthrough never knowing it exists. And that's what makes the Ghost Train so perfect for this list. It's not locked behind a choice or a chapter, it's locked behind atmosphere. You basically have to be riding through a haunted swamp at midnight, paying attention, slightly terrified, and a little bit lucky. Which, honestly, is the ideal way to experience Red Dead Redemption 2 anyway. Number 9, and finally, let's talk about the free horse hiding inside one of the encounters from Part 1. Remember the French couple who got robbed on the roadside? The ones with the pearl earring? A bunch of you pointed out that I focused on the earring and completely glossed over the actual prize. Because near that encounter, if you help the couple, there's a black Arabian horse in the area. And the black Arabian is one of the best horses you can get your hands on that early in the game. Fast, beautiful, and normally a serious investment later on. Here, it's just standing there, free for the taking, if you know to look. One commenter even pointed out the poetic detail: you save the couple, you get a black horse. Arthur briefly as the Black Knight. But here's the catch the comments flagged. If you don't grab it then and there, that horse can despawn permanently. Ride away, finish the encounter, come back later expecting your free Arabian, and it's gone. Vanished. Like the swamp itself reclaimed it. So the lesson, as always in Red Dead Redemption 2, is the same. The world does not wait for you. The horse does not wait for you. The free gun does not wait for you. And the second you treat any of it like it'll still be there later, it won't be. And that's it for Part 2. And almost every entry here came straight from you in the Part 1 comments. So keep them coming, because Part 3 is already filling up, and we still haven't touched the ghost in the swamp, the stolen hat that won't spawn, or the gold teeth that apparently every single one of you has more of than I do. Drop your missable moments below. Odds are, you know one I don't.